going to need a bigger boat.
So Jaws portrayed sharks as this mindless killer that was basically going to eat anybody that was swimming in the water or on a boat. And so that really got into the way that we thought and perceived, because we didn't know that much about sharks at the time. The 70s was really where shark research started.
And as we've grown to learn more about sharks, there was a real increase in fascination as well as fear. And the fascination has outlasted and outpaced the fear. The media will have you believe otherwise. Every time a shark fin is spotted in the water, it's a sensational front news story. But actually, we've got some remarkable conservationists that are working incredibly hard to make sure that the truth is actually coming out. And because of the internet, YouTube, news outlets, we're actually able to really see how these animals truly do behave.
When it was released 50 years ago, there wasn't really a focus on sharks as being these villains or these potential people eaters, right? But after the movie came out, there was this spurt where, it's not safe to go in the water, and we still kind of feel that way. 50 years later, there's still a fear, and that's part of that Jaws kind of revelation. But for the most part, sharks have way more to fear from us. I mean, there's somewhere between 75 and 100 million sharks globally that are killed by humans. On the flip side of that, there's probably only about 10 human beings that succumb to a shark interaction. So think about that.
Sharks occupy sort of every different part of the ocean and every different level. And they're the animals in the middle of the food web. They're the animals at the bottom, bringing nutrients into ecosystems as well. And so really all of the effects that we have on our climate, on our oceans, affect sharks in different ways.
When you're afraid of something, you don't understand how important they are. And if we lost sharks, our marine ecosystem would collapse. Food chains, those food pyramids would be destroyed. And what would happen is, you'd have mesopredators eating up the smaller fish, which then you'd have no more coral reefs, you'd have no more seagrass beds. Sharks help to maintain that balance so that every ecosystem can maintain. And one of the things that the ocean does is a great carbon sink. And if you take away sharks, then you take away that ability for the ocean to have a carbon sink, because all the other animals would be eating up those ocean resources.
I think the other thing is climate change. Whether you believe in climate change or not, ocean temperatures are rising, but there's no way that these animals can adapt quickly enough to stay ahead of the climate change that's happening, which is why we're starting to see more sharks coming into closer contact with swimmers in beaches because the waters are warmer.
Every time we're working with different individuals at the beach or whatever, that always comes up. Is it safe to go in, right? When should I go in? Where shouldn't I go in? A lot of it's common sense. Don't go at dawn and dusk when sharks are most active. Don't go into areas where their food sources are. Sharks are in the ocean to make a living. They're there to reproduce, they're there to eat, and human beings are visitors in their environment. So we have to think about that every time we go in there. And if we want a clean ocean, we need sharks. And to see sharks in an environment is a good thing. And I think that's another misconception of people too, is that if you see sharks that it's bad, but it's actually really, really good. And we just have to learn how to coexist with them.
I think that Jaws portrayed sharks as this very one-dimensional predator that's out there to eat anything that's in the water. But what we've learned over the past 50 years since Jaws is that sharks are incredibly complex. They have behaviors, they have groups that they hang out with. And so as we appreciate more of the uniqueness and the coolness about sharks, as we step away from that fear that we saw in Jaws to more of the sort of curiosity and the amazing part that we see now.